Hi all, Hipper here. Today we are digging down a bit in the tiers, and we're not really playing a tier 7 cruiser. And today I'm checking out my favorite lower tier cruiser, and it's the Koenigsberg. It's just a great cruiser. And for the upgrade, I have the aiming systems mod 1 in the single slot that you get at this tier, which is tier 4. At the lower tiers, I go with the more offensive commanders. I don't use the agile commanders below tier 6. And in this case, I have Mimbelli for faster reload and Yamamoto for extra AP pen. And the base trait of Müller is extra speed, which is not that useful at lower tiers, but you can't really do anything about that. Then I have range, and I have extra HE here to give me a bit of extra oomph, and then better AP, and then I have better precision here. And the last legendary perk here is better reload. Now you may be wondering why I'm not using my agile commanders at the lower tiers, and it's simply because they're not meant for the lower tiers, I'm pretty sure. I can't really ask anyone at Wargaming about it, but that's my theory anyway. At lower tiers, it's better to have just damage and range on your cruiser. There's many reasons for that. One of them is like the battleships, they have slower reload and not as much range and less damage, and their shell speed is really slow. So you're unlikely to be targeted by as many ships at one time as you will at tier 7. Also, the concealment is a lot less of a problem at the lower tiers, and also it is lower tiers. So I mean, it's like not beginners, but it's like the gameplay is not as involved and multi-layered as it is as tier 7. So you can get away with a more simple commander with a more simple setup. Like this, where it's basically just, I want damage, give it to me. I don't think this damage setup here works very well at tier 7 at all. So now we are coming onto our first kill in this battle here, and we are making good use of our absolutely insane AP rounds on this ship. So we see this Kuma here. It is getting absolutely punished as soon as we can get a good shot in here. There we go. And then we'll just go around the island at the same time. Yep. Completely whacked with the AP. And that's why I love Koenigsberg. It is an absolutely insane AP cruiser. And if that isn't enough, it also does HE really well. Especially with the two guns down at the rear. It's a very good kiter. It's like it doesn't turn very well, but the guns themselves turn 360 degrees, so it doesn't matter what you do, you'll be able to keep your guns on the enemy at any time. So in this ship you have like, insane AP at the tier, and the HE is good, and if that's not enough, you also had torps. And those torps, they aren't just for show. You got 6 on each side, like in 2 banks each of 3. So that's 12 torps with the 6-kilometer range. It's just very good. And then you have the sonar, which is the German sonar with the extended range. So, like, well, what could you possibly ask for more in this ship? I don't know. It has everything, if you ask me. But its major plus is that it's at tier 4. And like I said before, I don't understand that. It's such a powerful ship. If you're not facing any up-tiered ships, then you'll be battling it out with Omahas and Furotakas and stuff like that, and like they don't stand a chance. If you have like a full AP build like I have, you're absolutely gonna punish them with no problem at all. That's also why I picked this fight to show off the ship, because it's actually my go-to Kraken ship. Getting Krakens in this ship is just easy as. So if you ever need a Kraken for some kind of challenge or one of the monthly campaigns, then take this ship out. like I said before, and I've said many times in this video now, the AP is just insane. And you have, like, I think I have a 6 point something reload on the ship here. And with an AP damage, I think with this build I have here, I have 4,300 AP. That is a lot. That's more than Wichita at tier 7. And I think only Furutaka at this tier has somewhere anywhere near it. And that's before we even touch on the penetration. Of course, I don't know the values for that because Wargaming doesn't tell us. But I have never had any trouble at all punching through cruisers and battleships with this ship. Nothing at all. So you can see here now we're using the 360-degree turrets on the back to just burn this Texas here. And we're so far away that even if he shoots at us in this cruiser here, it doesn't matter. We have slow rudder, but the shell flight speed at tier 4 and the battleships in general, they just don't really have anything to fear from them unless you're within 10 kilometers or something like that. So again, that's also why I just go for a full damage build. I never do that at tier 7 like I've said before. So now we're about to have him down. There we go, and we got a nice arsonist as well. And I talked about Krakens earlier, but I actually don't get a Kraken in this game. But I picked it because I don't use any torps in this game. It's all guns. And I just wanted to show how much damage and how much mayhem you can actually do in the ship just by using AP and HE against enemies. And I mean, I think we end up with 135,000 damage in this game. And for tier 7, that's a good game. That's really, really good. But here we are at tier 4 in what is supposedly a low tier cruiser. And I mean, it's just very, very, very powerful. If you haven't played this ship yet, I can only recommend that you do it. It's a lot of fun. Its big brother at the tier 5, the Nuremberg, it's also good. It's also good. Now we have an Omaha here, our favorite prey. I mean, these things are just citadels waiting to happen if you're in Koenigsberg. Look at that. It's just a completely unfair fight. Anyway, if we go back to Nuremberg, then it's very similar to Koenigsberg, except it resides a tier higher. And that's why I never really play it. I always play Koenigsberg because why would you handicap yourself more than you have to? And like I enjoy cruisers at tier 5 and tier 7. I think that's the sweet spot. At tier 6, it's not as much fun because if you're in a tier 6 cruiser and you're facing a tier 7 battleship, then you're way you have a problem then. Same with facing a tier 7 cruiser. Tier 7 destroyer, not so much of a problem. But on the other hand, if you're in a tier 5 cruiser and you're getting up tiered with tier 6s, it's not really much of a problem. The cruisers are very, very similar, and it's not as big a jump as it is from 6 to 7. So there we have this guy here poking out again. Let's take a good AP shot at him. Notice he's trying to angle and everything, and it doesn't matter at all. Just punch right through. The Omaha is really, really soft, and that's why if you want to get Krakens, just get in this ship and pray for a battle with lots of Omahas. I mean, they don't stand a chance at all. So now we're kind of running out of cruisers in this battle, and that's where our damage output will slow down, because we don't really have anyone to citadel with that incredibly powerful AP. So from now on, I'll pretty much have to rely on HE, and although it's not bad in any way or shape or form, it won't allow us to do as much damage as we would with AP had we had more cruisers left. but we already sunk most of them, so we'll have to make do with some battleships now. Now I really want to get that Kuma you can see in the distance there to get my Kraken, but I miss out on him. But so be it. Unfortunately, someone else gets the pleasure of sinking that guy. Now, as you can see, Koenigsberg is quite agile for a low tier cruiser. It's quite fast as well. I think we go 37, 38 knots or something like that. The turret rotation is really good. Not that you really need that much when you don't have a super agile build, but still nothing to sneeze at. And the range on the guns, more than adequate. More than adequate. At lower tiers, it's very rare you're more than 15 kilometers from the enemy. And Koenigsberg can easily reach that. It's no problem at all. Like I said before, you also get the upgraded German sonar, so it's a very very good DD hunter, extremely good. I don't really use it for it in this game because there's not really any destroyers at all. But if you come across one, then it's probably one of the best cruisers for that job, despite it not having radar. I know it doesn't matter much, but it's also quite a good looking ship. In my opinion, many of the lower tier ships are pretty ugly, especially if you compare it to something like Omaha or Krispy Kreme or something like that. They're not exactly the smoothest ships available. But Koenigsberg looks good. It looks really looks really cool. It's a nice ship, especially with a cool camo on it. Then it's a nice ship. So what I'm trying to also show with this video is that like the cruiser gameplay below tier 6 is very very different from tier 7. And I don't know, I mentioned this a few times in this video now, and I'll just mention it one more time. That's why I use a damage build on the lower tiers, simply because it makes more sense. Those commanders are more suitable for lower tiers in my opinion. At tier 7, there's just many more enemies who can hit you, and many more enemies who can hit you from anywhere on the map pretty much. And you can't rely as much on islands for cover, and you'll have to do more of an effort to kill destroyers at tier 7 if you want to win. So you'll have to get in close, and an agile build will let you do that. We got a Confederate as well. So really all we needed in this battle is the Kraken to make it a perfect one. But yeah, now we just beach ourselves here. We're being too preoccupied with these two Nassau's here. So as you can see, I really enjoy this ship. I don't play it as much anymore. I don't really play the lower tiers anymore. I think I just don't like it anymore. I don't think the challenge is the same as at tier 7. But like I said before, if you need medals, if you need Krakens or high calibers or anything like that for some sort of, I don't know, bet or whatever you have got going, then this is the ship for you. It's absolutely... If you're just looking at cruisers in the game, and somehow we ended up getting the kill for that guy there. Not really sure. He must have burned out or something. But yeah, we won't say no to that. If we look at cruisers at the tiers, then I would say Koenigsberg is probably the best cruiser in the game at its tier, in my opinion. And really, it should be a tier 5, at least. At least, I think it's that powerful. Or maybe the adversaries are just very, very terrible at this at this tier, and that's probably part of it. Like I said before, Omahas, they don't stand a chance against this cruiser here. Neither does Furutakas, Emile Bertin, or pretty much any other cruiser. It just gets absolutely walloped by the AP and the range on this thing. See, now we are doing a little bit of agile trolling here. We can just get away with it at this distance. I don't want to get sunk because then I won't get a Kraken. I'm trying desperately right here to finish this guy off so I can get 5 kills in the Kraken before the time runs out, but there's no way I can make it, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter. It's a very good game. And if you want good games, this is the ship for you. It's just so good at everything it does. And that's the end of the battle, and we did very, very well here. So just to recap, if I don't play tier 7 cruisers, I usually play this cruiser, although I don't play it a lot actually. So here we are. Very good, good round. So that's the end of that. And like I said before, if you haven't taken this ship out yet, for some reason, wouldn't know what that reason would be, then definitely do it today, because it's a lot of fun. Alright, well, hip out, and I hope you enjoyed this video.